applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back for another episode here to recap week 0. Before I do that, I'd like to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps the network, it helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose Network. Now, before I get into week 0, we do have some shows to shout out. We have to shout out the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave every Tuesday and Friday, 7 to about 8:30. So check them out. Now, tomorrow is going to be the Ravens panel at 7 o'clock. Well, around 7:30. I want to say 7:30. But anyway, we're going to be talking Ravens football tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune into that as well. It's going to be featuring me, my boy Chris, my boy Ty, and Pops. Not my dad, but Joe's dad. But so yeah, make sure y'all check that out. Unfazed every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Make sure y'all check Joe and AJ out on that. Two more Tuesdays into the NFL. But we got this Tuesday coming up and next Tuesday. I'm pretty sure next Tuesday they're going to talk about Cowboys Eagles on Thursday. So make sure y'all tune in to Unfazed. Next, we have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Yankees just coming off a big win against the Red Sox tonight on Sunday Night Baseball to avoid being swept. You know, keeps the Red Sox off my Tigers back as well. But make sure y'all tune in to BWT. Next, we got fantasy football with Coach Coombs. The preseason is now over. Some people are starting their fantasy football drafts. Make sure you get your last little tidbits from fantasy football with Coach Coombs. Next, we got Dave's Doghouse, which is highlights and lowlights of sport. Next, we got Real Ballers Only, and that's hosted by my boy Vaughn, basketball show. It's coming soon. NBA is starting up in about a month or two, so like with camps and stuff like that. So make sure y'all tune in to him on that. Last but not least, we have In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo boxing episode. For all your boxing needs, check out In the Red Corner. They go live every other Sunday at around 7 o'clock. So make sure y'all tune into them on that. And that's all the shows we have on the network. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to all those channels as well. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now, we're going to get into week 0. Week 0 was real fun. We started off with the Iowa State-Kansas State game. We ended with Stanford versus Hawaii, which I can't wait to talk about Stanford versus Hawaii because I got some things to say about that game. But first, I know this wasn't the first game, but I didn't talk about this game in the preview because I really didn't think I needed to, but I have to say this. UNLV narrowly escapes Idaho State 38-31. And scares the living daylight out of me because this is my Mountain West championship team, unable to stop Idaho State, and was down for majority of that game. Took the lead late, held on, but man, am I worried about my Mountain West Conference pick now. Now it's the week 0, so getting a lot of jitters out, stuff like that. Teams evolve over the weeks, but right now, I don't want to overreact, but I'm scared for UNLV to win the Mountain West right now. So, I just had to throw that in there. Before we start with Farmageddon, Iowa State versus Kansas State, neutral site in Dublin, Ireland. First game of the year, and it started off sloppy. Starts off sloppy. We had 4 turnovers in the first half, 2 by each team. We started the game with Dylan Edwards muffing a punt and getting injured, being out for the remainder of the game. So in steps Joe Jackson at running back for the Kansas State Wildcats. After Dylan Edwards fumbles or muffs the punt, we end that drive from Iowa State with a fumble of their own. Just a toss play going haywire, ball bounce off the helmet. K-State recovers, and I'm feeling good. Because I did pick K-State to win. They did lose, but I'm feeling good. Iowa State then proceeds to, Kansas State, then proceeds to punt the ball, goes nowhere. Iowa State goes down to score. The first half is tied 7-7. Iowa State, they're always striking first. Iowa State strikes first in the first half. K-State responds. Then it's 7-7. Now Iowa State strikes first in the second half. K-State responds. Now I got some notes on this game. So K-State had 2 turnovers and 3 turnover on downs. 1, I believe, in the first half and 2 in the second half. One of those in the second half was a drop 4th down pass right through the hands of Bradley, and one was a 4th down late in the game. Now, the one in the first half, they had it down to 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 1. I think they had it actually down to 31 and ran 2 run plays and just got stuffed by the Iowa State defense. And shout out Marcus Neal. Didn't know him coming into the game. They had some tidbits about him. He flashed on the screen. They said that Iowa State thinks he's going to be a superstar. He became a star in that game for Iowa State on yesterday in Ireland. So shout out to Marcus Neal for that. Excellent performance. But to me, Iowa State, they show composure. They show why they won the Big 12 championship last year. And early, it didn't look good passing wise. They started the game with 4 runs. They did pretty good, but when they had to put the ball in the air, you had a drop that almost led to an interception. It just wasn't in sync until that touchdown drive. Then it just, I don't know. Then it was not in sync again, but it picked up late. Rocco Beck, he's your veteran guy. He's going to show some, like I said, he showed composure. And in the balls of Iowa State late in that game, up 3, 4th and 3. Yeah, you can kick the field goal to make it a 6-point game and make K-State have to get a touchdown. But Avery Johnson is another guy's experience on the other end of Jace Brown. Matt Campbell has the guts and his quarterback, Rocco Beck, to not only go for it, but to give him 2 plays and say, you pick the one you like. And they execute. 0 coverage. The blitz was coming. They find the running back out the backfield. Carson Hansen, he makes the catch. Now, Carson Hansen, situational awareness. Once you break free, you get that first down, you go down. He almost steps out of bounds. Not only does he almost step out of bounds, he almost scores the touchdown, which you think, yeah, I'm up 10. That's good. But you give K-State a chance to get the ball back, score, and possibly get an onside kick, as opposed to which with under review got reversed. You don't score, and you just need the game out, and K-State has no chance of touching the football. So situational awareness, I'm pretty sure they got on him about it or told him about it. Hey, man, you get that first down, you go down in bounds, we win this game. But just the guts that Matt Campbell, which is why I love Matt Campbell as a head coach, but the guts of Matt Campbell and Iowa State to go for it just was stupendous. But like I said, man, both teams had 2 turnovers in the first half. But K-State just didn't capitalize. Didn't capitalize on a lot. The second turnover from Iowa State was a sack that K-State falls on in like clear scoring territory, and that's when they turned the ball over on downs. They didn't capitalize, didn't get no points from that. I knew that was going to come back to haunt them. It's just they just did not capitalize. It's point blank period. If I had to sum up, one thing that K-State has to do is capitalize, and they did not do that today or yesterday. Excuse me. Meanwhile, Iowa State just showed a lot of guts, a lot of composure, and they just kept fighting. And they eventually won. And like I said, K-State never took the lead in this game. Iowa State always struck first, and that's not good. But second half, Iowa State scored on 3 of 4 possessions. Now, I'm not counting the possession to end the game where they needed out because they clearly could have scored there, but they were needing the game out. 3 of their last 4 possessions they scored on, which is insanely good for Iowa State. So they figured something out. Like I said, they held their composure and they got the job done. So shout out to the Cyclones for winning that game. I had them winning 10 games. I had them, I think, being 3rd in the Big 12. K-State is my Big 12 champ, so this is a little blow, but they can bounce back from this. Now, this is so y'all know I picked K-State to win, right? This is the thing with me. I'm a degenerate, I bet. So I did bet on Iowa State to have over 7.5 wins. So I was like, I bet on K-State to win by 13 or less. But I have a separate bet with, I got to win on under over win total parlay in the moment. So I'm like, dang, the college football parlay for today didn't hit, but that's 1 out of 8 wins I need. So I was like, well, but yeah. So I did pick K-State to lose, but Iowa State had a great game. They won Farmageddon, and now have won 3 straight versus Kansas State. That's one thing I thought too. I thought, okay, so Ireland, maybe things might be different in this Farmageddon matchup, but no, it was not. But we move on to a game that I don't have much to say about. Kansas absolutely dominates Fresno State at home, 31-7. Kansas opening possession just goes down the field and scores. Jalen Daniels is on tremendous display in this first drive, from running to throwing to just the speed of the Kansas offense. You have questions coming in this about Kansas, and I don't think they're fully answered because they beat Fresno State, but you do have some answers about this Kansas offense. Daniel Highshaw stepping up for Devin Neal, Deshaun Williams now is the backup running back for Kansas. So you feel like the running game is pretty secure. Who's some names to look out for the receiving? And Cam Pickett stepped up in a big way. And I would say Emmanuel Henderson stepped up as well for the Kansas Jayhawks. So those are 2 names that you could pretty much look out for and see if they can continuously answer those questions with the entire receiver core being overhauled. Now for Fresno State, E.J. Warner, he did what he could. He tried. It's just that O-line was just shaky against that Kansas defense. Now, it is Mountain West versus Big 12, so you do have some significant recruit or, prospect differences. But E.J. Warner showed some promise. He did show some promise in that game. He did make some spectacular throws. He made some bad decisions as well. That pick kind of before the half, I believe that was kind of a bad decision. But, oh, no, not before the half. It was the possession, I think, before the drive before half. But kind of a bad decision there. But he did show some promise. You've seen some promise out of the running backs for Fresno State. Defensively, I think they did after the first half, did a pretty stellar job in the second half. You could say Kansas probably took their foot off the gas or kept it kind of vanilla. But no, I think the Fresno State's defense actually kind of locked in the second half of that game. But overall, Kansas offense was just way too electric. It was way too much speed on the field for Fresno State. And in that first half was just, they were looking unstoppable. They scored, I think, on 3 of their 4 possessions, touchdowns 2 at that. Fresno State scored after Kansas scored on their first drive, but after that could not find the end zone or could not find another score. And Kansas just dominates and takes the win, 31-7. Moving on, getting a dub. Shout out to the Jayhawks. Next, my Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, my Conference USA champ versus Sam Houston. Now, early in this game, it was a good back and forth. Western Kentucky starts off the game. Don't do much, but defensively, Western Kentucky does a great job on Sam Houston. Western Kentucky draws first blood with a crazy touchdown to Matthew Henry. More on him in a little bit, but Sam Houston kind of, responds. They get a field goal. They play great defense. Sam Houston defense, they lose a lot. I think they actually had to overhaul the entire starting defense, but they still look good. The Sam Houston defense looks good. They're playing Western Kentucky very well. Western Kentucky's making big plays here and there. Maverick McAvoy, I will say, looked really good this game. He looked precise. He looked in control of the offense. He made a couple bad mistakes, but that's what every quarterback is going to do. He didn't have an interception, just some bad throws. I mean, every quarterback is going to miss a throw or make a bad throw here and there. It's part of the game. But he really looked in control of his offense. It looked like him and Rick Bowie never missed a step. Against a really good defense of Sam Houston, might I add. So, really good thing here. To go in a halftime up 20-10. But out of halftime, Hunter Watson breaks a huge run. Sam Houston comes out and scores. And Western Kentucky, this is one of the mistakes that Maverick McAvoy made, comes back out. And Maverick throws a drag late to the outside into what I believe, which was cover 2. And the receiver just gets depleted. And the defensive back for Sam Houston, I'm blanking on his name, but he scoops and scores the ball. And Sam Houston goes up 4, and they have all the momentum. It looks like, man, Sam Houston could really pull off this game on the road in Western Kentucky, or at Western Kentucky, excuse me. And it just looks like, they celebrating, they got the money back, which this is actually very clever. I've never seen that one for a turnover, like the turnover chain or UNLV got a turnover jackpot. I've actually never seen a bag of money. Not like, I don't think it's actually money in there, but it has a bag with a dollar sign, like the cartoonish bags of money. And that's their little turnover chain. I thought that was very creative. I really do. I shout out to them for that. It was Jameer Diaz, scoops and scores. And I'm like, oh, shoot, Western Kentucky, you in a dog fight now. And Western Kentucky responds. They go down and score and takes all the momentum back. So Sam Houston does not score for the rest of the half. And Western Kentucky is just pouring it on. Maverick McAvoy is in the zone. And they go on to win by 17. But early in this game did look like a preview of what could be for the Conference USA title. This did look like a Conference USA championship title preview. But overall, Western Kentucky just second half flat out came and dominated. Beyond that fumble, which, whatever, they dominated that second half. And shout out to the Hilltoppers for getting a huge dub, starting off Conference USA with a 1-0 record. And we move to the game I really want to talk about. I got to get some water for this one. Frank Wright in the Stanford Cardinal goes up to Hawaii, or flies over to Hawaii to face Timmy Chang and the Rainbow Warriors. And it's a good game. Stanford actually starts off pretty good. I don't want to say they started off hot. Well, yeah, they started off hot. I say that. That was one of my keys. Stanford had to start off hot. And they started off hot. They got a field goal. And then the defense forces a fumble touchdown, getting the ball in the end zone. I think it was a sack fumble in the end zone. They picked it up and scored. So they start off 10-0. But then it's all downhill from there. They kick one other field goal. Basically until they scored in the fourth quarter, and that offense just looked bad. Part of it was big. I can't lie. Part of it, or a lot of it was big Bill Branson, but a lot of it was that O-line too. Just not really giving Bill Branson time. But then Micah Alejado, the freshman, he starts completing passes. He starts breaking for long runs. He finally settles in, and the Rainbow Warriors go down and score. The first touchdown, I believe, went to Profili Ashlock. And I think the second one went to Jackson Harris, the former Cardinal, who just, made a play in the end zone. And they go up. The Rainbow Warriors actually go up 14-10 before Stanford makes it a 1-point game. Then the Rainbow Warriors go up 17-13. Now, the game is pretty stagnant throughout the majority of the second half. Stanford offense isn't really doing nothing. Hawaii offense moves a little bit, but then they sputter and out of control. The drive stalls. But then Stanford establishes the run. They take the game completely out of Go Branson's hand. Go Branson only threw, I think, like one pass on that drive, and that was like a 3rd and 7 to make it a 4th and 1. But other than that, Michael Ford and Irvin just running crazy, especially Michael Ford. He's just running crazy. And they go in to score to go up 2017 based on all on the run game. Alejado, and the game also turned on his head when Michael Alejado got sacked and they injured his knee badly. He was definitely hurt. Like, that was a game where you can see, like, he's not 100%. Like, that injury took a lot of it was painful. And he's still out there trying to perform. You got to admire the kid for his guts. You got to admire the kid for the heart that he had. But you can clearly tell it affected him on a lot of his throws. He started overthrowing guys, couldn't get his footwork together, missing guys short. It was like one stop route he threw. It was like about 10 yards short or like 7 yards short. And I think that was due to the injury to his knee. So, but he just showed a lot of heart out there to finish the game for his guys. And to definitely swallow your pain and go down the field to get a game-time field goal was huge for Alejado. But Stanford gets the ball back. And now they're moving the ball again, running the ball. It seems like Hawaii has no answers for the run game. But Stanford had an answer for their run game. And that was to use the run game and then throw the ball with Bengo Branson. Bengo Branson throws an interception. Now, I will say this. The defender made a hell of a play. A hell of a play. That wasn't the same play by the defender. But why? Use what got you here. Michael Ford and Irvin got you here. Run the ball. He throws the pick. And then Alejado completes 2 passes to his tight end, I believe. Huge gains. And then field goal range. Now, this is where I criticize Frank Reich from the bottom of my heart. One of the worst coaching jobs I've seen last night. Hawaii, after a huge game, has, I believe, the team TV timeout. No, after a huge game, they hike the ball to throw the balls incomplete. So 2nd and 10. It's like 40 or 37 seconds left. They then run the ball because they're in clear field goal range. So I guess the coach, Timmy Chang, like, why are we throwing the ball? Let's run the ball. Let's get this field goal. Mind you, 2nd and 10. Stanford has all 3 of their timeouts. They run the ball. It's 3rd and 9. Frank Reich decides not to call a timeout. What are you doing? You have 3 timeouts. This is 2nd down, now 3rd. You call your timeouts. You'll have 1 left. It's college football, so every first down temporarily stops the clock. You use your timeouts, and you have to give your team a chance to get the ball back and potentially win or tie the game. But instead, he lets Hawaii drip the clock to 3 seconds before Hawaii calls a timeout. And now he has all 3 of his timeouts. It's 3 seconds left, and Hawaii is in clear field goal range. But he wants to use one to ice the kicker. What are you doing? I would have cut his contract on the spot. We would have an interim head coach after this. Frank Reich was trash for that. How do you not attempt to give your team a chance to win the game or tie it? You just gave up. He just said, oh, that field goal range, we lost already. What is that? Mind you, this is the same coach that Andrew Luck had when he retired at halftime. That contract. Hey, man, it's a guy that was in the Stanford video that killed me and Ace for our Stanford prediction, talking about we don't know much about Stanford. Literally the worst preview we heard. You should do some research. How you feeling now, bro? We had you winning that game, and you lost. And it was based on quarterback play and coaching decision. You still want to say we don't know what we're talking about? Huh? That was the worst. I thought I was tripping. I was like, all right, maybe ain't no time. I looked at the screen again. I see 3 timeouts. I was like, I know I'm not tripping. Stanford ain't used the timeout this half. How do you, whatever. So what you think happens. They kick the game-winning field goal with 0 time left, and Stanford loses the ball game 23-20. Starting off 0-1. I said all I can say. He better like his team. He on a 1-year coaching contract. 1 year, $4 million. After that, it's over. You better hope. If I'm Andrew Luck, I'm not re-signing you for that moment right there. But yeah, I couldn't wait to talk about this because that was dumb. Boy, I'm sorry. I don't like to say it, but it was. And it felt like you gave up. If I'm a player on that team, I don't know if I want to play for you after that because you gave up. How you gonna quit? Or how do I listen to you in practice about working out and why I shouldn't do this and should do that when you quit on us? You just quit on us. But hey, that's the way that cookie crumbles. Stanford loses 20-23. Now we move on to the last segment of the day. Major performances. I only got 5 players. There's only 4 games. I didn't do the UNLV Idaho State game. But we got some players to congratulate for big games yesterday. Let me just get the sound effect ready. Different tab. Let's see. Ooh, I don't. You know what? We'll do this. All right. So first, on the list, I got Jalen Daniels. 176 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I mean, he went 90% completion percentage and 3 touchdowns. I know 176 yards ain't crazy, but a 90% completion percentage is. So I had to get made the performance for that. Next, we got the gutsy freshman, Micah. 210 yards and 2 touchdowns and broke a 30-yard rush. Now, the 30-yard run it was before the knee injury, but like I said, the heart the kid showed to lead 2 field goal drives to win the game, clearly in pain and duress, has to be a major performer for that. Next, we have Micah Ford, running back for Stanford with 26 carries, 113 yards, 4.3 a carry, and a touchdown. So shout out to him for that excellent game by him. Wish they'd have put the ball in your hands more, but hey, your head coach. Next, we have Maverick McAvoy, quarterback, Western Kentucky. who went 33 of 51, 401 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the day, including not including one rushing touchdown. So he had 4 total touchdowns for the Hilltoppers. Like I said, man, him and Rick Bowie look like they're back in action like they never left. So shout out to Maverick McAvoy for that. And last but certainly not least, we have Matthew Henry, wide receiver of Western Kentucky, who had 7 catches for 148 yards and a touchdown, which what amazing play that was. That over-the-shoulder catch, absolutely insane. But Matthew Henry had a ball game, rocking that Dalvin Smith 17, by the way. But absolutely stunner of a ball game by him. He makes me. I want to look more. I want to watch more Matthew Henry. See if it was a fluke or if he really do this. So shout out to him for that. But that is the end of week 0. The recap. Thank y'all for tuning in. I will be back Wednesday because we got some ball games to discuss for Thursday night college football, including Boise State versus South Florida. So that's going to be interesting to watch and talk about. I did go 2-2 in the week yesterday. Stanford, again, I tried to put some hope in y'all, some faith. Y'all blew it. And then I tried to put faith in K-State and finally winning Farmageddon. But Iowa State just had a great game. Shout out to them. Like I said, I will see y'all Wednesday, but I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.